male reproductive system of human being. Male reproductive system, it is divided into two parts. One, main reproductive organ or main sex organ or primary reproductive organ or primary sex organ. One pair of testes are there within scrotum, and second part, that is accessory reproductive organs. They are epididymis, one pair. Next, seminal vesicle, one pair. Next, vas deferens, one pair. Next, ejaculatory duct, one pair. Next, prostate gland. Next, Cowper's gland or bulbourethral glands. Next, urethra, one, and then penis, one. Now, testes and scrotum. We have to understand relationship between scrotum and testes. See, the main or primary male reproductive organ of human being is a pair of testes. These two testes are housed in scrotum, a pouch-like structure made up of skin and muscles, and situated at the base of penis between two thighs. Look at figure 1, find the scrotum and try to understand the relationship between scrotum and testis. Scrotum is here marked with tick mark, red color. Look at this figure 2. Internally, scrotum has two compartments. A septum made up of connective tissue called scrotal septum divides the scrotum internally into two compartments. The two compartments of the scrotum are distinguished externally by a middle ridge called raphe. In this figure, you will find raphe and scrotal septum. Internally, scrotum has two layers, parietal layer and visceral layer. Visceral layer covers testis and epididymis. In between parietal layer and visceral layer, there is a fluid called hydrophilic fluid. During cold, the dartos muscle of the scrotum, in this figure you will find the dartos muscle denoted by D, contracts and put up a thicker investure round the testes, and also movement of testes towards the pelvic cavity takes place. This is figure 4. Look at this figure. During embryonic life, testes are developed in the abdominal cavity. About 2 months before birth, the testes are descended into the scrotum through inguinal canal. In this figure, you will find inguinal canal. Each testis is suspended from the abdominal wall through spermatic cord. Here you try to understand relative position of number 1 inguinal canal, number 2 spermatic cord, number 3 testis. Scrotum is marked as capital S, penis is marked as capital P. There are 2 spermatic cords leading from each testis. Each spermatic cord is composed of blood vessels, that is testicular artery and testicular vein, ductus deferens or vas deferens, and epididymis. Number 1 is spermatic cord, number 2 blood vessel, number 3 epididymis, number 4 vas deferens. Let us see the male reproductive system at a glance. Look at figure 6.1. Epididymis, 2 vas deferens, 3 seminal vesicle, 4 prostate gland, 5 Bulbourethral gland or Cowper's gland, 6 urethra, 7 penis, and 8 primary sex organ or testis. Epididymis. Look at the figure 7. Epididymis is a long convoluted tube about 6 meters in length. It is divided into 3 parts. 1. Head of the epididymis, marked as capital A. 2. Body of the epididymis, marked as capital B. And 3. Tail of the epididymis, marked as capital C. Function of epididymis: secretion of epididymis provide nourishment of spermatozoa. Vas deferens. The tail of the epididymis is continued as vas deferens. After entering into the pelvic cavity through inguinal canal along with spermatic cord, it forms a loop around the urinary bladder, as you see in this diagram. Opens at the base of ejaculatory duct, here marked with red ink. Function: vas deferens transports sperms to the urethra during ejaculation. Seminal vesicle. There are two seminal vesicles which lie on each side of the front portion of urinary bladder. Each seminal vesicle unites with urethra through ejaculatory duct.
Here denoted by EJ.
Function. Seminal vesicle secretion is important for semen coagulation and promote sperm motility and increase stability of sperm chromatin. Ejaculatory duct. It is a fine duct through which each seminal vesicle opens into the urethra. This duct is formed by the union of seminal vesicle and the end part of the vas deferens. Function. Sperms along with semen are discharged into the urethra during intercourse. Bulbourethral glands or Cowper's glands. There are two bulbourethral glands. They are pea-shaped glands and they are situated beneath the prostate at the beginning of the internal portion of the penis. They are exocrine glands. They have their own ducts. Those empty into the urethra. Function. It secretes a fluid during sexual arousal which lubricates the urethra and neutralizes the acidity of the urethra. The male urethra is a fibromuscular tube that connects urinary bladder to urinary orifice or urinary meatus for the removal of urine as well as semen. The male urethra is divided into two parts. One, posterior urethra and anterior urethra. The posterior urethra is again subdivided into prostatic urethra and membranous urethra, whereas anterior urethra is again subdivided into bulbar urethra and penile urethra. So we may say that urethra is divided into four parts. Those parts are prostatic urethra, membranous urethra, bulbar urethra and penile urethra. Prostatic urethra. Distal part of the urinary bladder is continued as prostatic urethra. It receives ejaculatory ducts from the seminal vesicles and prostatic ducts from prostate gland as it passes through prostate gland. Membranous urethra. Membranous urethra passes through the pelvic floor and includes the area of the external sphincter. It is the narrowest part of the male urethra. Bulbar urethra. It is the portion of the urethra which is present in between external sphincter and the base of the penis is called bulbar urethra. Penile urethra. It extends from the bulb of the penis to external orifice or external meatus. Function of male urethra. Male urethra is the common passage for removal of urine as well as semen. Prostate is a walnut-shaped gland located between the urinary bladder and penis. The urethra passes through the prostate gland and receives ducts from the prostate gland. The prostate gland secretes a fluid which nourishes and protects sperms. Penis is divided into three parts: root, body, and glands. Look at the diagram, you will find here these three parts. Root. This part of the penis is attached with pubic arch and is invisible. Body. It is visible portion of the penis. Glands. Corpus spongiosum extends distally to form glands. Penis is made up of three columns of erectile tissue that are surrounded by connective tissue and covered by skin. Look at the diagram. Two dorsal columns constitute corpora cavernosa. The single ventral column of tissue that surrounds the urethra is called corpus spongiosum. Look at the diagram. The urethra extends throughout the length of the corpus spongiosum and opens through the external urethral orifice at the tip of the glands of the penis. A loose fold of skin called prepuce or foreskin that covers the glands of the penis. Functions of male reproductive system. Number 1, spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is a process by which sperms are developed, and we know that seminiferous tubule is the functional and structural unit of testis. Testis internally is made up of numerous seminiferous tubules, and within these seminiferous tubules, sperms are produced from germinal epithelium of seminiferous tubule. So, sperms are produced through spermatogenesis process. Production of sex hormones.
In between
the seminiferous tubule, we find Leydig cells. These are the Leydig cells, or these cells are called interstitial cells, and these interstitial cells produce male sex hormone named testosterone, and transfer of sperms. Penis transfers sperms during copulation into the vagina. So these are the functions of male reproductive system. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe the channel to get more videos. Thank you.